This is Justin AMZN for Friday, December 28th, 2018. And what we had on Friday morning was a slight gap up, and it kind of has a similar range above this. What price is this? Above 1468, like we had after hours from Wednesday. And then, Thursday morning, we gapped down and held below the 1455 price and ended above it. So right now we're gapping up from this, and be interesting to see if we can hold this level and continue higher, or if we pull back anywhere into this range and hold some of these levels, these pivots down in here. Really anything can happen on any sort of a S curve pullback. So, or it could just run. So, really, it's in a really tight range right here. And so it is a Friday expiration. It's coming right into the end of the year. And so after this big run up, there's probably some bulls who got in somewhere in here, and maybe they didn't get out in this. We're hoping for it to open up higher, and maybe they're just going to get out. I don't know. So we got a squeeze starting because this is really a tight range. Let's step into the day. So immediately we pull right back almost into 1455. That squeeze is fired. We bounce, look at that. We bounce right off of 1455, 55, and then up back into the this price. I forgot already again. 1468. There you go. Get past that a little bit. Okay, move up a little bit. And I was gonna say, well, this is a really nice morning star reversal. It's just not a great location other than it bounced off of this level. So now we get inverted hammer. That does actually make a new high, and we're higher than yesterday from the open and now from this candle. And we're going sideways a little bit, a lot of sideways, inside candle, bearish candle, engulfing the bullish one. That doesn't look good. Maybe it comes back again to here. Squeezes forming again. Yep, drifting down lower. Okay, so we're right back on 1455. Still right there. That's a nice hammer. I like that hammer. That's at a better location. I mean, inverted hammer here looks similar to this one. This was at a good resistance. This one's at a good support. We weren't able to hold that level really at all yesterday, and now we're holding it, and we haven't had a bearish candle close below it. So we'll see if that can get something going. Oh, there's a bearish close below it. And as soon as I say that, then it starts to bounce. Okay, so this is really nice, kind of 15-minute, 20-minute stair step here that then reverses and moves right up to this downtrend line. So we'll zoom out and look at the downtrend line a little bit to see if that played in anything. Get a really nice S curve here for kind of a continuation move. This was a bit of a flag, gapped up, kind of a quick S curve, a bigger S curve. Maybe this will get going. It looks similar to this one down here, just like we're below this line. We didn't bounce off another one here, but we got below the line and then continued on up. So it could be doing something like that. Another inverted hammer. Oh, there you go, a bit of a flag, and then into rest after battle. So this looks a little more bullish. So if you're not in bullish off of any of these candles down here, this would be a good place to, kind of be setting a trigger to get in bullish here, by here. So around $12 on the stock, whatever the option turns out to be. So you got a high wave candle, another high wave candle, a little bit of a hammer here. It's almost like it's a hammer off of this downtrend line. So if you're in something, I would probably keep your stop right here right now and see if it can just get going. Okay, now you got to move your stop up here. We've been a new high in the day, so you could take some profits up at that level. We're really contending with the pre-market high, and we're getting into the high from Wednesday after hours. So step in more and see what's going on. Okay, upper hammer or inverted hammer. We're continuing up. So it's a much gentler increase than this one. So we'll see if we have another little bit of a pullback little bit of an S curve to be able to give an opportunity to get in. But I like this pullback of this candle. It comes right back into the inverted hammers high, marking, a really nice level for, nice level for this candle. And now for this one too. Good place to be, retesting. So this was a short-term retest, a long-term retest, long-term on the 5 minute. But anyway, so we'll just continue on. So any of this, hopefully you're in and you're just kind of trailing your stop up, like get your stop up here now. It could pull back a little bit more, could pull back to that. It's the first touch on the 21. So some people are going to think, okay, that's it, it's done. We didn't get a touch of the 21 on its way up from Thursday, but we're getting it today. So we'll see if it bounces there. We get another squeeze forming too. There you go, a little bit of a stair step and a pennant. And we really want to see this break bullish, and it does. Another pennant. Okay, we got a line at 1500. That's a good place for taking the profits. If anyone was in 1500 puts, 1500 calls on this way up, when it hits that strike and goes in the money or at the money, that's a great time to take some profits. And stair step. This one continues on up. Okay, our next line is at. What is this? Our next line is at 1514. And the high of the candle is 1513.47, but it's touching this downtrend line. So we'll go back and look at what that one is too. But this is a good place to, again, take some profits. We're at, kind of these lines, forming a nice evening sort of reversal here. And we had a really nice, had this kind of jog up, transitioned a little bit slower, moving up. This is where a bunch of people are buying calls, a bunch of people buying puts. And it just moved sideways for a couple hours to lose all that premium and stop people out. And this was a directional move. This was clearly going up, and people in 1,500 calls probably made some good money if they got in anywhere down in here or down here. So we take a look at those calls. But this is a great place to take profits or even reverse. I mean, it's a really strong bearish candle, and the low and the close are the same. So it's a shaved bottom bearish candle. So I would expect it to at least make it to 1,500, maybe even pull back to like this pivot. I don't know if it'll get all the way back to the 1468 line, but I guess we'll see what happens. Nice hammer there inside. Okay, continue to break down. A lot of bearish candles. Okay, we almost got to that line. That's a V top on a 5 minute. That's a V top. So let's zoom out real quick and show you the downtrend lines. So this is the one that I drew saying, hey, we need to stay, we need to get above that and stay above that. We had these bounces off it and then this collapse, and we've been down ever since. And now we've touched that line again. And, it's really crazy that we touched this downtrend line, but we didn't touch the 1514 price. So, yeah, way to go, lines. This one was to, I think, connect a couple points with the same angle. And we interacted with that a little bit today and then continue to break out from it. So if we just zoom in on the day, there were some opportunities down here. Being at 1455, I don't know that I would have been getting into 1,500 puts that early. But 1,500 calls. But if you look at the 1,500 calls over the course of the day, and we'll zoom out to show you, this is how they move. They pull back initially, kind of just grinded sideways until early afternoon, put in some smaller ranges here, and then completely broke out. Even retesting, this point here, it was about to break out, and then it retested. And then rallied, and the hammer here bouncing off of the options highs. So a lot of good opportunities to get in. Just depends on what you're watching and how you're planning to risk and when to get in. If you had some time to watch it, there was opportunities. But if we zoom back out and show you this, so this is the 5 minute today. You can see way back here, that hammer or the candles after it, the price down here was around $1. And so that's our risk. You could have just gotten in there and just flipped it out for two, taking an R on that. It came back down, let's see, below two in here. And so, there are some opportunities to get in, during this price here that was just a little bit above what it was earlier. So anytime it's just going sideways for a little while, it's still, something you can mitigate your risk. You can get ready for a trade to continue and be ready to be stopped out, or just to, if you're risking the whole R on the full option amount, to then just not care when it ends up happening. But in this case, you could have been getting in, at these prices, 2x1 would have worked. Up here, 3x2 would have worked, so after it broke out and then getting in. And I mean, it's almost better to wait for it to break, and then getting, because there should be a pullback. And in this case, there was. Doesn't have to, but it's nice when it does. And then I just want to show the 1,500 puts through this whole time. I mean, they were way in the money, by 40, $50, and then just completely got slaughtered and got out of the money by 13 some. And the lows in here were pretty close to $1, doing 1 and 2. So again, through here, when it's forming this, even star reversal, even this, where it's pausing, and getting ready to, hit this line, and then, whatever's going to happen. I mean, that's a great place to be getting ready with puts, because it's had such a run, and so looking at the 1,500 put that is out of the money at this point, it's like, okay, at least if it retraces, back to this level, I mean, that's not far. It would have been nice if it touched the 1514 line, but it touched another line we've got on here, and then immediately sank. And so you could have been getting in, let's say, on this candle, done maybe 2x1, and just done 2x0 and be that, let that be your absolute zero play with a $200 risk if that's your R. And then from here, it went up to 4. It ran down so quickly. This candle's high is 755. No, not that one. Sorry. This one. Why is it not tracking? This is the one I'm trying to look at. This is it. Okay, yeah, this is the right one. That candle dropped so quickly, in 10 minutes, we were way down here, or less than 10 minutes, we're way down here. So when, from being out of the money by $13 to in the money by, $4, well, the option itself went, you could have gotten from, 2 up to 7. Again, had you been watching it, I mean, that would have been a nice trade to just, in the course of 15 minutes, gone from, $200 to $700, or $200 to $600. If your R was 200, you just made 2R in less than 50 minutes. I mean, that's amazing. And then if you had just held on, I mean, it went all the way up as this collapsed and just V-topped. This went all the way up to this candle at like 27. So I'm not saying you're going to get, maybe you got in at 2, but maybe you didn't get out at 27. Maybe you got out at 20. I mean, that's it. If your risk was 200, not 100. If your risk was 200, so 20 minus 2 is 18, divided by 2 is 9. That's 9R on a move on a Friday, where it reversed off of a clear resistance, kind of a double resistance, and then didn't pause at all in the next pivot or the next level. It didn't really make a pivot. It just continued. So, it just would have been, would have been hopeful for, wanting it to hit the next line. It would have been great if it did, but it didn't. And so you would have needed to be nimble to get out. And that was probably some of the people here getting out anywhere in here and just throwing those market orders in and saying, okay, just get out. And it ends up, exiting Summit, 1960. So, I mean, maybe that's where you got out. That's still almost 9R. Anyway, we get the daily on here, and it's a really nice indecision candle right here in this range, similar to that one in the range. Sorry, let me zoom in. So this candle in the range, similar to this candle, even though it dipped a little bit below. So Yeah, Monday is a last day of the year, and it's a shorter day. I believe the market closes early, and so I anticipate much lower volume. I know was it Christmas Eve? Yeah, this day there was a little bit lower volume. It still seemed to, maybe a little bit under average, but I kind of anticipate, having another lower volume day like that. It'd be great if we just went sideways. Um, I mean, I really wanted to run up into what was that measured move? I said 16 something. I mean, way back up here with that inverted inverted head and shoulders. I hope you're seeing that. But it's, here's a part of a shoulder, another shoulder. Here's a big head, shoulder, shoulder, or maybe this is a retest of the neckline here. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.